The forbidden signal, the massive crystalline structure of Command Station Apex floated silently above the purple clouds of Centauri Prime. Within its gleaming halls, Admiral Zektar's 4 eyes focused intently on the tactical display. His scaled hands gripped the command console as warning lights began flashing across every screen in the control center. "Status report!" Zektar barked, his dual-toned voice echoing through the chamber. The Hegemony Empire had maintained order across 12 galactic sectors for over 3 millennia. Nothing entered their space without authorization. Nothing. Lieutenant Commander Velnash rushed to her station, her tentacles dancing across the holographic interface. "Admiral, we're detecting an unidentified vessel approaching from the outer rim. Current trajectory puts it on a direct course for Centauri Prime." Zektar's crest of bony plates shifted color from neutral blue to aggressive red. "Speed and classification? Unknown configuration, sir. The ship is... It's not in any of our databases. No Imperial registration, no Allied signatures, nothing." Velnash paused, her voice dropping to barely a whisper. "And sir, it's fast. Faster than anything we've cataloged." The command center fell silent. Every officer present understood the implications. The Hegemony's technological supremacy was absolute. Their vast fleets patrolled every inhabited system. Their databases contained specifications for every known vessel design across the galaxy. For something to approach undetected and unidentified was not just unusual, it was impossible. "Display. Visual," Zektar commanded. The main holographic projector flickered to life, revealing a sleek vessel unlike anything in the Imperial fleet. Its design was almost primitive in its simplicity, a long cylindrical hull with swept-back engine pods and minimal external features. No decorative elements, no visible weapons arrays, just pure functional engineering. Science Officer Tranlock stepped forward, his insectoid eyes analyzing the data streams. "Admiral, the energy signature is peculiar. The propulsion system appears to be based on principles we've never encountered. It's generating a localized distortion field that's allowing it to achieve these speeds without triggering our standard detection grids." Zektar's eyes narrowed. "Open communications. Standard first contact protocol." The communications officer activated the universal translator and broadcast across all known frequencies. "Unidentified vessel, you are entering restricted Hegemony space. State your origin, purpose, and submit to immediate inspection. Failure to comply will result in defensive action." Silence. The ship continued its approach, now close enough for detailed scans. What they revealed sent ripples of unease through the command staff. The hull composition defied analysis, some form of adaptive alloy that seemed to shift its molecular structure in response to their scanning beams. "Admiral," Velnash's voice trembled slightly, "I'm detecting something else. The ship's design, it matches archived patterns from the Forbidden database." The temperature in the room seemed to drop. The Forbidden database contained records from before the Great Purge, when the Hegemony had eliminated threats to galactic stability. Most officers weren't even cleared to know of its existence. "Specify," Zektar demanded, though he suspected he already knew the answer. "Human, sir. The configuration matches theoretical projections of human vessel development, had they survived, beyond the extinction event." The word hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Humans, the species that had nearly upset the galactic order 5 centuries ago. Their rapid technological advancement and aggressive expansion had threatened the Hegemony's dominance. The Empire's response had been swift and absolute, or so they had believed. "Impossible," Zektar stated flatly. "The human colonies were completely eliminated. Their homeworld was rendered uninhabitable. The species is extinct." But even as he spoke, doubt crept into his mind. The Hegemony's historical records regarding the human extinction were surprisingly sparse, classified at the highest levels, accessible only to the Imperial Council itself. As a senior admiral, Zektar had always found this peculiar. "Sir," Tactical Officer Krem interrupted, "the vessel is responding to our hails, audio only." "Put it through." The speakers crackled with static before resolving into a clear, unmistakably human voice. Female. Speaking in accented but fluent hegemonic standard. Hegemony Command, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earthship Defiance. We're not here to submit to inspection, and we're certainly not here to comply with your defensive measures. We're here to talk, and you're going to listen. The bridge erupted in chaos. Officers shouted over each other, alarm signals blared, and defensive systems began powering up automatically. Zektar raised his hand for silence. Captain Chen, he replied carefully, you claim to represent a species declared extinct 500 years ago. You approach our capital system in an unregistered vessel, refuse standard protocols and make demands. Explain yourself. A laugh came through the speakers, not mocking but genuinely amused. Declared extinct? Is that what you tell your citizens? Interesting historical revision, Admiral, but we can discuss your creative record-keeping later. Right now, I need you to stand down your weapons systems. They won't work anyway, and it would save us all some embarrassment. Zektar's crest darkened to near black. You dare. Computer. Chen's voice cut him off. Execute Protocol 7. Every display in the command center flickered and went dark. Emergency lighting kicked in as primary systems shut down systematically. Weapons arrays powered down, shields collapsed, and even life support switched to backup power. The most sophisticated command station in the Hegemony Empire had been neutralized with 2 words. Panic spread through the bridge crew. This wasn't just advanced technology, this was impossible. The station's systems were isolated, protected, by quantum encryption that would take centuries to crack. How? Zektar breathed. The displays reactivated, now showing the human ship in perfect detail. It had stopped just beyond the station's defensive perimeter, hovering with impossible stability. Admiral Zektar, Chen's voice had turned serious. Humanity never died. We adapted. We learned. And we've been watching. Your empire built its power on a lie. That you eliminated us because we were a threat to galactic peace. The truth is, you tried to destroy us because we were about to surpass you. You failed. The tactical display reformed, now showing star charts Zektar had never seen. Entire regions of space previously marked as uninhabitable or empty, now glowed with indicators of human presence. Colonies, stations, fleets. For 5 centuries, Chen continued, we've developed in secret. We've pushed the boundaries of science in ways your rigid hierarchy could never imagine. We've built a civilization based not on domination but on cooperation and innovation. And now we're ready to return to the galactic stage. Zektar found his voice. If you've been hidden all this time, why reveal yourselves now? Because your empire is dying, Admiral. Stagnation has set in. Your technology has barely advanced in 2 centuries. Your member species chafe under your rule. And there's something else. Something approaching from beyond the galactic rim that threatens us all. You're going to need our help. The main display shifted again, showing long-range sensor data from regions no hegemony ship had ever explored. There in the void between galaxies, something stirred. Ancient, vast, hungry. We didn't come here to conquer, Chen said quietly. We came to warn, and to offer an alliance between equals. But first, your empire needs to acknowledge what it tried to do to us, and what we've become in spite of it. Zektar stared at the display, his lifetime of imperial conditioning warring with the evidence before him. Humans alive, humans advanced, humans offering partnership instead of demanding submission. What do you want? He asked finally. A meeting, face to face. Your Imperial Council and our representatives. No weapons, no tricks, just truth. The galaxy is about to change, Admiral. The question is whether the hegemony will be part of that change, or be swept away by it. The human ship began to move again, not toward the station but into a parallel orbit. Waiting. Zektar noticed his weapons systems had reactivated, but somehow he knew they would be useless. The humans had made their point. I'll need to contact the Council, he said. Take your time, Admiral. We've waited 500 years. We can wait a little longer, but not too long. That thing out there? The display zoomed to the anomaly in deep space. It's not waiting for anyone. The communication channel closed, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Zektar turned to his staff, seeing his own disbelief reflected in their faces. Velnash, prepare a priority message for the Imperial Council. Classification, Beyond Ultra. Tranlock, I want every piece of data we have on that ship analyzed. Every energy reading, every scan result. And someone get me access to the Forbidden database. Full access. It seems our history lessons need updating. His officers scrambled to comply. Zektar returned his gaze to the human ship. The Defiance, she had called it. An appropriate name. For 5 centuries, the hegemony had told the galaxy that humanity's defiance had led to their destruction. Now, it seemed that same defiance had ensured their survival. And perhaps, he thought with growing unease, their evolution into something the hegemony could no longer control. The age of undisputed imperial dominance was ending. He just wondered if the Empire was ready for what would replace it. Shadows. Of the past, Lieutenant Crix had never ventured into the archive's restricted levels before. The young Valoran officer descended deeper into Command Station Apex, her blue-furred hands trembling slightly as she passed through security checkpoint after checkpoint. Admiral Zektar's authorization codes opened doors that had been sealed for centuries. The Forbidden database wasn't just classified, it was buried, literally, 20 levels below the main command structure in chambers that predated the station itself. As Crick stepped into the archive chamber, automated systems hummed to life, illuminating rows of quantum storage cores that held the hegemony's most guarded secrets. Computer, she spoke carefully. Access all files related to human extinction. Event. Authorization. Zektar Prime Alpha 7. The air shimmered as holographic displays materialized around her. Images, documents, video logs, centuries of suppressed history suddenly accessible. What she saw made her secondary heart skip a beat. The humans hadn't been the aggressors. Official history painted humanity as a violent, expansionist species that threatened galactic stability. But these files told a different story. Humans had developed faster than light travel independently, without hegemony guidance. They'd begun establishing colonies using methods that didn't require imperial technology or permissions. Most damning of all, they'd started forming alliances with species outside hegemony control. They were offering alternatives, Crix whispered, reading through diplomatic correspondence from 500 years ago. Free trade agreements, technology sharing, democratic representation in galactic affairs. Everything the hegemony's rigid hierarchy opposed. A video log caught her attention. The timestamp showed it was recorded days before the first strike against human colonies. The speaker was Grand Admiral Vorthak, the military leader who'd orchestrated the campaign. The humans represent an existential threat to order, Vorthak's image stated coldly. Not through military might, but through ideas. Their concepts of individual freedom, technological innovation without oversight, and direct democracy are spreading to our member species. If allowed to continue, they will destabilize everything we've built. The Council has approved the final protocol. Crix felt sick. The final protocol, complete species elimination, had supposedly been used only against civilizations that posed direct military threats. But these records showed humanity's crime was offering choice. Her communicator chirped. "Lieutenant, report to the command center immediately," Admiral Zektar's voice commanded. Crix transferred the files to a secure data crystal and hurried back to the upper levels. The command center buzzed with activity unlike anything she'd seen. Officers from every department clustered around displays showing the human ship, the Defiance, and its impossible capabilities. "Sir," Science Officer Tranlock was saying as Crix entered, "their propulsion system operates on principles we abandoned as theoretical impossibilities. They're literally bending space-time around the vessel, creating a bubble of altered physics. The power requirements alone should be impossible," Zektar finished. "Yes, we've established that humans excel at the impossible. Lieutenant Crix, what did you find?" Crix handed over the data crystal, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. "Sir, The forbidden database contains extensive records about the human extinction event. I think you need to see this. Zektar inserted the crystal into his command console. As he reviewed the files, his scaled features grew increasingly disturbed. Other senior officers gathered around, reading over his shoulder. The bridge grew quiet except for the hum of electronics and the occasional sharp intake of breath. Finally, Zektar looked up. It seems our understanding of history has been incomplete. Sir, Velnash ventured. These records indicate the humans weren't eliminated. They were driven into hiding. The final bombardment of Earth was faked, Zektar concluded. The planet was rendered uninhabitable, yes, but the population had already evacuated. They knew we were coming. A new voice joined the conversation, broadcast through the command center's speakers. Captain Chen again. Very good, Admiral. You're beginning to understand. We had friends within your empire, species who disagreed with the hegemony's methods. They warned us, gave us time to prepare. The main display activated, showing Chen's face for the first time. She appeared to be in her 40s, with short dark hair and eyes that held both determination and surprising warmth. Behind her stretched a bridge unlike any hegemony design, organic curves instead of rigid angles, surfaces that seemed to flow into each other. We spent 50 years evacuating Earth, Chen continued. Every human who wanted to leave, we saved. We scattered to regions your empire considered worthless, the dark between galaxies, rogue planets, nebulae that played havoc with standard sensors, and there, we rebuilt. But why remain hidden? Zektar asked. With your technology. Because we learned from our near extinction, Chen interrupted. Rushing back for revenge would have made us no better than those who tried to destroy us. Instead, we chose growth. We developed our science, our philosophy, our understanding of the universe. We made friends with species beyond your borders. And we waited for the right moment. Tranlock stepped forward. Captain, your ship's capabilities suggest scientific advances far beyond anything in our databases. How? Chen smiled. Freedom, Commander. Freedom to think, to experiment, to fail, and try again without bureaucratic oversight. Your empire's rigid hierarchy stifles innovation. Every advancement must be approved by 12 levels of authority. We have no such restrictions. She gestured and the display split to show multiple human vessels emerging from seemingly empty space. Not just ships, entire stations materializing as cloaking fields deactivated. The scale was staggering. For 5 centuries we've explored regions your empire never reached. We've discovered things that would reshape your understanding of physics. We've encountered species so alien that your universal translator can't comprehend their languages. And through it all, we've remembered what you tried to do to us. The temperature in the command center seemed to drop. Zektar straightened. Is this revenge then? Have you come to repay extinction with extinction? If we wanted revenge, Admiral, your empire would already be gone. Chen's voice carried no boast, just simple fact. Our technology surpassed yours 2 centuries ago. We could have ended the hegemony whenever we chose, but that's not who we are, that's not who we choose to be. The display shifted to show the anomaly at the galaxy's edge, the disturbance Chen had mentioned earlier. As they watched, it pulsed with energies that made their sensors scream in protest. That, Chen said quietly, is why we're here. It's called the void hunger. We've encountered it before in the dark places between galaxies. It consumes entire civilizations, feeds on sapient thought itself. It's coming, and your empire's weapons are useless against it. And yours aren't? Velnash challenged. Ours might slow it down. But stopping it, that requires something neither of us has alone. Your empire controls resources across the galaxy. We have the technology. Apart, we're both doomed. Together, we might have a chance. Zektar studied the human captain's face, searching for deception. He found none. You're proposing an alliance after everything, after what we tried to do? Yes. Chen's expression hardened. But make no mistake, Admiral, this isn't forgiveness. Your empire needs to acknowledge its crimes. The species you've subjugated deserve to know the truth. The rigid hierarchy that stifled galactic growth for millennia needs to change. We're offering partnership, but only with a transformed hegemony. The Imperial Council will never agree to such terms, Zektar stated. Then the Imperial Council dooms everyone to extinction. Chen's image flickered as her ship prepared to move. We're giving you one cycle, one full rotation of Zentari Prime. Convince your leaders, Admiral. Show them our data on the void hunger. Make them understand that their choice isn't between maintaining power or sharing it. It's between evolution or annihilation. The transmission ended. The human ships, now revealed to be dozens, began dispersing throughout the system. They made no aggressive moves, but their very presence sent a message. We're here, we're beyond your control, and we're waiting. Crix watched her admiral struggle with everything they'd learned. The hegemony's greatest shame, the attempted genocide of humanity, had been exposed. Their technological superiority revealed as stagnation, their ordered galaxy shown to be a cage that had limited everyone's potential. "Sir," she said quietly, "what do we tell the Council?" Zektar's 4 eyes focused on the distant anomaly, the void hunger that threatened everything. "The truth, Lieutenant. For perhaps the first time in centuries, we tell them the absolute truth, and hope it's not too late for the hegemony to change." As the command staff dispersed to prepare their reports, Crix lingered by the displays. She watched human ships patrol the system with casual confidence, their impossible technology a testament to what free innovation could achieve. The hegemony had tried to extinguish humanity's light. Instead, they'd driven it into the darkness where it had grown into something brilliant and powerful. Now that light had returned, offering the hegemony a choice: evolve or fade away. Crix suspected she wasn't the only one hoping they'd choose correctly. The shadows of the past had been illuminated. The question now was whether the Empire could face that light without being burned by it.